Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, November 30th, the last day of the month of November. And it looks like a very active weather pattern over the next 10 days or so. Quite interesting indeed. We have another major rain event coming today into tonight, may be accompanied by some strong thunderstorms up and down the I-95 corridor. It turns cooler and dry on Thursday with the increasing sunshine, and then even colder air moves in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And there is the threat of a storm in the southern states that could have an impact here late Sunday, Sunday night into Monday, and it could be just cold enough for some snow or sleet to mix in. Later next week, there looks like there will be a widespread cold air outbreak that'll travel from the northwestern part of the country into the central plains and then finally reach the eastern states late next week. This is the forecast map from last night's European ensemble run for 500 millibar height anomalies for late next week. We're jumping ahead before we talk about today's heavy rain event. Quite impressive indeed, with a strong bias here on the lower pressure compared to normal at 500 millibars. Colder temperatures here setting up in the eastern U.S. and indeed across much of the nation. Cold air will first work its way into Alaska. In fact, it's already there. Yesterday morning, Fairbanks bottomed out at 30 degrees below zero. By this weekend, there will be some 60 degrees below zero in some sections of Alaska. That cold air first crosses Alaska, then into the western U.S., and by the end of next week, will make it into the eastern U.S. And in fact, by the end of next week, much of the nation will be on the colder than normal side. Well, the previous map was with 500 millibar height anomalies. This is the temperature anomaly from the GFS ensemble run. So we have confirmation here. I wanted to point out that two different models, ensemble runs of the European model and ensemble runs of the GFS, both suggest a widespread cold air outbreak by the end of next week. This is a temperature anomaly forecast by the GFS ensemble for next Saturday morning, December 10th. Basically colder than normal throughout much of the U.S. and again, it reaches the eastern U.S. First, this cold air works its way into Alaska. Very cold there this weekend, 60 degrees below normal, and then into the western U.S. and then eventually by the end of next week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday time frame, into the eastern U.S. Well, let's now focus in on the short term. We have another major rain event coming to the I-95 corridor, and we need this rain. It's been quite dry over the last several weeks. This rain is up and down the eastern seaboard, which is a good thing because it's been dry in New England, dry down the southeastern U.S. In fact, here's the forecast map for early this afternoon. Tennessee, where of course it's been in the news about wildfires down there, getting some heavy rainfall, and again up and down the eastern seaboard here. Basically a warm frontal system working its way from the south to the north across the mid-Atlantic region. It's already quite warm and will be well up into the 60s in many areas between D.C. and New York City later this afternoon. And again, the heavy rain band here associated with that cold frontal system pressing through slowly to the east. This is the forecast map for early this afternoon. Let's jump ahead now to shortly after midnight. Well, it looks like could have heavy rain not only this afternoon but into the evening hours as well. Certainly can be a thunderstorm or two mixed in anywhere along the D.C., Philadelphia, New York City corridor. And some of those storms can be on the strong side. We'll track that over the next several hours. Early tomorrow morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning or so, that frontal system finally works its way into the I-95 corridor. It's been inching along, and until that passes, we certainly can have some more rain through the evening hours. Some of that can be heavy at times. Notice a long fetch of westerly flow setting up behind that frontal system. That will help to dry us out tomorrow with some cooler conditions, and then it turns even colder at the end of the week. And here's the forecast map for early tomorrow afternoon. All these forecast maps are from the 0Z GFS model run. That frontal system well off the East Coast by early tomorrow afternoon. Increasing amounts of sunshine on Thursday. A pretty stiff wind out of the west. It'll be cooler tomorrow, but still well up in the 50s for high temperatures, considerably cooler than today, but it turns even colder by Friday and Saturday and even into Sunday. High temperatures generally confined to the 40s, and then again we'll be dealing with the potential for some moisture moving back up from the southern states late in the weekend, early part of next week. In fact, let's jump ahead to a Sunday evening forecast map. And this is looking up far ahead here. This is Sunday evening forecast map from the 0Z GFS model run. Depicts quite a bit of moisture here down in the southeastern U.S. Cold air, this 0 degree dashed line here, dashed blue line here, in the wintertime is roughly rain snow line. You see it's still well to the south of much of the I-95 corridor region between D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. That, of course, is not the only factor. Temperatures in the upper part of the atmosphere are crucial as well. This is in the a few thousand feet up. Still quite cold here, and the point is, some moisture, still some residual cold air Sunday night could be kind of interesting. The European model pretty much disagrees with this scenario, kind of cuts the storm up to the north and west, keeping us warmer than last night's 0Z GFS, but we'll monitor it over the next few days. One final map I'd like to show. This is also for Sunday evening. This is from a different version of the GFS model. It's actually an improved version that will become operational in several months. It's called the GFS Parallel. It too has some interest here for Sunday night. Notice this 0 degree isotherm here at 850 millibars, about 5,000 feet up. Lots of moisture here down to the south. And this air mass will be kind of a retreating cold air mass, but still, the threat exists for perhaps some icing in the mix here, some snow or sleet in the mix with some rain late Sunday night into the day on Monday. It's a long way to go before then, we have a lot to go through. A heavy rain event today and tonight, maybe some thunderstorms mixed in, also some dense fog throughout the area, and that will remain for the next several hours. Warm for this time of the year with high temperatures in the 60s, dry and cooler tomorrow, and then even colder Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.